So I just created a new GitHub account, and what I'm gonna do is first things first. I'm gonna create a new wallet address too, just so I can register a new user. Really, like you could have two users use the same wallet address based on the way that the program was created, but I'm just gonna create a new one for testing purposes here, and I will just name this testing prestige t underscore 2. All right, and I will copy the address, and else I might just airdrop. Really, this airdrop isn't necessary. It's just I like having wallets with some balance in it. Solana Explorer, whatever, there, and all right, as we can see, the only balance is the airdrop, and everything else is pretty much empty, zero transaction history. So thing number one we're gonna do is we'll come back here and we will collect our username, right? I just named it Kamda Serial there, and we will register our user. So basically what I'll do is I'll just do prestige register username and that wallet address. Let's copy that again, and it's not going to paste. All right, there we go. All right, so we just effectively registered our wallet. Like, we're not going to be able to see the data here, unfortunately, but I just like looking at the transaction. All right, so now that our users registered, the very first thing that we'll do is that we will visit the repo to which the program is attached to. Just bear with me a second here so I can get the repo. All right, that looks good there. So this logs, and I am gonna create an issue. So now that our user's registered, he should be able to get rewarded for the issues they create. So I will say issue number 1, testing purposes. Hello world, I adore prestige XPs, and we'll submit the issue. And so we should get a response from the bot. Right, we did get a response from the bot. The next thing we're gonna do is we will utilize our admin panel to add labels to it. So I'll just do that. So here I can come to my admin panel and I can see the issue that was just created for testing purposes. Right there, and I can attribute a specific label. Now the way this is set up is in such a way that whoever created an issue will earn about 10% of the prescribed XP. So if I attribute, let's pretend this was an issue for 120 XP, then after this I should get about 12 XP points in my wallet. So right there, and we should be hoping for a response from the bot right there. So it says we've received about 12 XPs. So let's go back to Solana Explorer and check this wallet's token balance. So we have about 12 of this token history there, or of prestige XPs. And now we're gonna pretend as though we fixed the actual issue. So I will come here and I will try to see if I can fork this. Right, that's fine. And I will pretty much just edit anything on the file. In here, I will say, I adore Prestige XPs, and commit the changes. And after committing the changes, I will create a pull request. So I can start a new pull request from here to yeah, from this new repo to the other repo, and I will create this pull request. I will say, for testing purposes, accumulating some prestige XPs, and I will create a new pull request. And then on the admin end, I could come to the pull requests section, and I can see the pull request that was created. And basically, I can issue a label, I can read the pull requests content, and I can try to determine exactly how much XP this solution is worth. And once I've determined that, I can choose whichever label here I prefer. Maybe that 120 XP, right? Maybe the solution that was provided is worthier than the 120 XP that was originally issued for that solution. So I'm gonna pretend that the solution provided is worth about 500 XPs, and I will click on that, and I will try to find the issue. Uh, the issue was, for test purposes, number 25. And so I will come back here and I will attribute, for test purposes, number 25. I don't see it here. Let me do a refresh here, it might show up. Is it this one? Oh, pardon me. It was issue number 1, test purposes. Pardon me, it's this one. And so I can click on that, and once this request is merged, we should get rewarded with some extra XP. So we see there, he got rewarded with some 500 extra XPs. And on Solana Explorer, our wallet should be at 512 XPs in total. There we go. That's pretty much a summation of what's been done so far. What is left though is right here. If I come down here, we would see we have currently no notion of badges. I did create a section for it, I just didn't work on it here. So right here, this would be much more for a section of badges. And it's important to mention that the way that this works is, you cannot transfer the tokens out of your account. So before we mint the account, we thaw it, and after minting, we freeze it, and then we mint it back in there. And a similar thing. And then in here, I just haven't yet included some work for the NFTs. But in here, we could do however we want. Maybe upload some NFTs on some image URIs on Arweave, and then do the minting here. Just don't have the time to work on that at the moment. But that's something that could definitely be handled. The second issue is, this currently has no notion of badges, and to be honest, I don't fully understand how the badges work yet. Um, at least my preconception when I started working on this was that the badges were just the ranks. But I think after reading about it just a couple of minutes ago, I have the impression that badges are different from ranks. And so that's also something that needs to be taken into consideration. The next important piece is, if we come back to the CLI here, we would see that the registration that took place had this intermediate trusted person, right? And I don't know if that's a feature that we want. And probably we do, because this would be running on our CLI and they are the only ones that can run it. On the other end, the other problem here is there also needs to be an authentication mechanism to ensure that this user, or at least this wallet address, is the wallet address owned by this user, or else someone could maybe claim to own another um, claim to own a specific GitHub account, and that hasn't been taken care of yet. I think maybe we can discuss about that and figure out like what would be an appropriate mechanism to do this uh, authentication. I think the UI somehow, but it's also possible that we might be able to ask people to maybe do something on their GitHub account that we can maybe query somewhere to figure out their wallet address, and then use it in this authentication and that way we won't even have to ask people to register. That way, maybe when a new issue is created, we check for the username and we check to see if they are registered. If not, we query their user name on their wallet address, maybe from somewhere on GitHub, and we register them, and then we attribute the XP to them. But those are just wild ideas that I'm throwing out there. I'm not quite sure what would be the most functional methodology at the moment. Thank you. And by the way, I did some pull requests, so you guys can give a look and criticize, and maybe we can hopefully work from there.